we're just cleaning up parts for putting it back together, and you know, there's no excuse for leaving this kind of debris on here. It's just, you could have a perfectly clean engine, and then as your oil, which has solvents in it, starts cleaning, you know, it just gets your motor dirty again. You should start off with as clean of parts as possible. Oh, look at all the stink.
Not really the proper use of that tool, but yeah, this is actually, I think, it's either a newer or earlier reproduction, but it said that this is their best one.
Stainless steel.
It was pretty paper thin. We got her cleaned up. Put our aviation sealant tack up here. I'm fitting up one of these Edelbrock timing chains. This is like a middle of the road timing chain, double roller. I was even thinking about putting a link timing chain on this instead of a roller type. It's pretty tight. I think I'm gonna toss a little ultra slick on the back of this timing chain gear where it rubs up on there. The reason I put this on there is because this surface here could come into contact with that thrust plate. I got a hair bit of thread locker on this bolt. I put some assembly lube in between this eccentric and this outer ring. A lot better than it was.
Maybe a guy was prying this off and bent this up, and you can see the air gap here, and then he was using a punch to try to set it back down. And it's all dinged up. I mean, how's that supposed to seal? So we'll try to get it level and then stick a piece of metal in here and knock these dingers down. You can't keep stretching metal back and forth. This is thin stuff. Well, that's pounding it level to the table. It used to be up in the corner, but from over tightening all these, usually you get pulled in, and then the next time you put a gasket on, these are touching first, and a lot of times they cut through a little thin cork gasket. Now they come up with a one-piece gasket, and there's little steel rings, so you can't over tighten them. For some reason, it looked like it got squeezed here. If you look inside, I'm making it a hollow. I don't think you'd want to do that anymore. Maybe on that one. That's right on the corner. So the parts are cleaned up. This is the windage tray. When we took it apart, it was only held with 2 bolts here. We prefer to have all our parts clean so that keeps your engine cleaner. And once we put these bolts in, then we'll rotate it just to make sure nothing's hitting it. Why? We didn't find any bolts down in the oil pan, so I think somebody just forgot to put in 2 bolts.
We're putting a little engine oil on these bolts to get our torque spec.
For anybody that never worked on a Pontiac before, this dipstick comes in this far, then this tube you got to put in to the windage tray and then, you know, guide it in there. just want to listen for a. If you hear any scraping noise, then we'd have to bend it, or most likely it's okay. It's not that hard. It's well broke in.
I want to check the clearance on the pickup for the oil pump before I assemble my new one. We got it pretty well cleaned out. We'll see how far down that tinfoil crushes. There is going to be a gasket on here. Looks to be about 1-inch clearance. We got a 1/8 inch thick gasket here. Looks like they made a notch in there, almost like that's where the pickup is supposed to go. The new pump is the same way. We know that worked. I'm gonna dare to be different though. I'm gonna try to get this pickup, instead of being in that notch, on the other side of this flange, just to drop it that little bit. That's all the more I can go in with it. It's getting ready to hit right there. I'm going to test fit it with the gasket in place. Pretty tight on the top side. The middle portion where the pickup is probably 1/4 to 3/8, which is about where I wanted it. And the gaskets can give us about 1/8 of an inch. I think I'm going to try it. Piece of scrap sheet metal at the shop and drill a hole in it. And I'm just going to bolt it on one end and then weld it on the pickup. That'll surely keep the pickup in place. After you learn this method, you realize that welding or brazing in that pump casting is bad practice. You could end up distorting it, or even cracking it. I'm going to TIG weld this on here in an effort not to throw BBs everywhere. The pickup isn't going anywhere. I got what's supposed to be a stronger oil pump shaft. Gave it a quick cleanup. Gonna drop it in there. Oil pump came with a gasket. I'm just gonna put a little of the spray on tack sealant. Probably doesn't need it. We'll let that set for a couple minutes before I install the oil pump. Here's the pump shaft installed. There's a little pilot on the pump itself to keep that in alignment. Let's see if this pan fits on here now without our extra gasket thickness. We ended up bending this down a little bit because without the gasket it was just touching the pan.
Right. When you put it on here, you always got to check. When he had done that, he had checked it with tin foil as he was pushing down. He could tell what the distance was. Well, then all of a sudden it was touching. You don't want anything touching because, 5,000 RPM, a lot of stuff is going to be vibrating. You don't want to wear out a hole and all of a sudden you got an oil pan